All right, guys, I don't know what the heck happened, but apparently somewhere along the line, it became completely okay for women to wear their underwear to the gym. I mean, this is insane. Women literally just wear like, a sports bra, even if you want to call it that, because it's not really hiding anything. I've seen on some of the girls that go to my gym, it's like, what? That's not even a bra. That's just like a piece of spandex. And then they wear like painted on booty shorts. It's like at this point you might as well just like not even wear the clothes and just spray paint yourself. It would lead more to the imagination. And I'm not like working out at some kind of like, high end 18 or older like weird workout like Instagram influencer palace, okay? I'm working out at like a regular family centric YMCA. And so like the fact that women are behaving this way is insane, and I think it's destructive, it's immature, and it's generally all around ill-advised. And I'm sure like men play some part in this, in the fact that we've created this kind of pornified culture. Men accept this kind of behavior as normal and either quietly or loudly cheer this on as like, haha, yeah, she's hot. I'm a gross dude. I'm a gross dude, and I like seeing this stuff everywhere. It's like, okay, yeah, guys definitely, we play our role in that. But really, this is like, women, what the heck are you doing? And so I know there's plenty of empowered yes queens out there who are going to take issue with what I have to say, because I did a video about this a few years ago and plenty of women got mad at me, which, fine, get mad at me, but at least make a freaking point, because all of your points are dumb. So let me explain in detail why I think this sort of behavior is harmful and, what we can really do about it. So point number one is that this is vulgar. All right. I'm not saying just like all compression gear is vulgar, but the super just, insanely tight, revealing stuff, showing as much skin as possible. That's the stuff where it's just like, it's way too far, because the reason we wear clothing, it's because we're trying to save each other from things, all right? Particularly what our genitals look like. All right, and there's reasons for this, because our bodies, they speak sexual things, because we are sexual beings. But the problem is we don't necessarily need to insert that sexuality into the public space. There's a lot of reasons why we wouldn't want to do that. And minors is one, but there are also more reasons, which I will get to shortly. But think about it like this, if I were to wear just a bottom of complete, almost sheer spandex, okay, and you could see my genitals in the HD detail that you could see the average, fitness chick camel toe in, like I would get rightly asked to leave, because it's vulgar, because your clothing is not doing what your clothing is supposed to do. And it's like, oh, you don't want to be able to walk around like our culture says you're not allowed to walk around naked. Okay, so if you're walking around basically naked, there's a problem with that. And the issue here is not that I'm just some prude, sex negative person. It's that there are actual consequences to this. All right. So first of all, it disrespects male sexuality. Okay. Because with male sexuality, like, we have certain involuntary reactions to things. And unless you have extreme sexual self-mastery, which 99.99% of guys do not have, you will have a physical reaction, or at least a psychological reaction, emotional reaction, some kind of reaction. Like your brain will start pumping some neurochemicals when you see a fit half-naked woman, or, 3/4 naked woman as it is today. All right. You will have some kind of reaction. And that, in my opinion, is rude to force upon people around you. Okay. Like, think about it this way. If you're that guy who doesn't wear deodorant to the gym, all right, that's rude. Why is that rude? Is because you're forcing the other people around you to have to deal with something, to have some kind of reaction to you, which in this case, the involuntary reaction would be to gag, because you smell horrible. Okay. So wear deodorant. Otherwise it's very rude. It's very disrespectful. But when you are a woman who dresses extremely revealingly and you go to the gym, well, guess what? You are going to be causing involuntary reactions in men around you who may not actually want to have that reaction, right? They might just be in there lifting weights. And guess what? The weights are heavy enough. They don't need to be trying to focus on also like not staring, at you doing hip thrusts like right in front of them. Okay. Guys, like I deal with guys who are trying to quit porn addiction and stuff like that. Like, this is shit they deal with. Is like, they're like, one guy, I remember he was like, I don't even know if I can go to the gym anymore. And so we had to like do a serious amount of work to keep his head in the right place, just because the women around him felt the need to be there almost naked. I would also say that this kind of behavior, it also disrespects female sexuality, because women, what they do is they compare themselves to other women, just how men compare themselves to other men. And so, do you think that as a woman, you going out there with this painted on clothing is helping other women feel better about themselves or not? And you might be thinking, oh, well, it's on them. If they're insecure about their body, I put in the work. If they're insecure about their body, well, then that's on them. That's their problem. It's like, technically, yes, you're right, but that also makes you an asshole. And so the question is, why are you doing this? Right? Well, we'll get to that in a second. But, it puts women in this state where like they might feel insecure, but additionally, it also puts them in a state where they feel like they need to then maybe compete, because maybe, the woman, she wants some attention at the gym. She wants, guys to look at her, but all the guys are busy looking at the girl who's almost naked. And then she feels like, oh shit, do I need to dress like that? And it just creates this, basically society of objectification, where the women who are willing to be objectified, they get more attention, they get more power. And then it puts women who are not willing to play that game seemingly at a disadvantage. Now, ultimately, I would say for a good guy, he's going to see a woman who dresses like that and be like, okay, no, thank you. But it kind of depends. Like, it takes a while for this kind of stuff to play out. So, a lot of times I think women are not going to really see the full ramification of getting themselves addicted to sexual validation for their body until they get older and they start losing said body, and then they have a crisis of identity, which I have seen happen, and it is not pleasant. But one other big piece of this that I think is worth noting is for the women who feel so entitled to doing this, we've already talked about kind of like how it creates these involuntary reactions to people around you because of the intensity of the human body and the experience of it up close and what it can do to a person. It's like, all right, if a woman is walking around and she's creating these emotional and psychological reactions in men looking at her against their will, a man might just be like literally trying to ignore her, and then it's just like he's got this, deep wiring that makes him look at her and he feels these things. It's like, all right, well, what if the guy doesn't really want that? What if he actually wants to be deeply committed to his girlfriend or his wife, right? And so you dressing like that and creating that kind of tension in him, it's like, who are you helping here? Who are you really helping? Right? You're not helping him. You're not helping that guy's wife or girlfriend, right? You are engaging in a power trip, and that power trip is gross. And I understand why you're doing it, because it gives you power, right? It does. It's a real power. It's a real power to have a nice body and to parade it around everywhere. And good on you for being in shape. I think that's wonderful. Bad on you for taking that cheap status hit, okay? Because it's not good for you. It's devaluing. You're worth more than that, okay? If you have a great body and you show it off like that, guess what people are going to see? That. And that's why they're going to approach you. And maybe you want that, but I don't think you really want that, because then that's who you are to that person. That's the basis of them approaching you. And I don't think it's wrong to, be attracted to a woman and have that be the reason why you take the first step. But it's like, at a certain point, it's just putting it way too much in the forefront, and it's going to make it very difficult for them to connect with you as a person. And maybe that is the fundamental thing that women operate on with this, is that they are not secure in who they are as a person. So they feel the need to do this extreme kind of advertising. Basically, women dressing in extremely provocative ways is like the clickbait of real life. It's like, hey, I'm lacking substance, but here's some tits. Right? And this might not even be true. I don't even think it is for a lot of women, is that they have plenty of substance to them. It's just that they're serving it up all wrong. And a lot of times you see these women, they claim like, oh, there's no good men out there. It's like, well, are you even trying to attract a good man? Or are you trying to attract a man who is willing to go out with a woman who dresses in such an embarrassing way? Right? So I don't know. Well, what can you do about it? Well, because this stuff's probably not going to change anytime soon. If anything, it'll probably get worse before it gets better. So, I mean, all you can really do is focus on developing your sexual self-mastery, both as women and men. But since my audience is primarily men here, if you really want to get good at this stuff, well, then you're going to want my Reforged Man course, which is like the masterclass of developing sexual self-mastery. And you can even get a bit of a free sample of what this would look like if you click into the link and you check out my Manhood Mastery training and take it from there. So, Self-Mastery Club is awesome. A lot of guys love it. And please let me know in the comments below. Am I alone in this? Like, do I just have a bunch of strange gym harlots that frequent my YMCA, or is this something that truly has gotten out of hand? Let me know. Anyway, That's all I have for this one. Ooh, yeah. See you on the next one.